So this is Isaiah from Like Isaiah, and I just want to talk to y'all. And if you've been thinking about, I've been in my hometown my entire life, I want to leave, I want to go. I'm telling you to do that, motherfucker. Do that shit. Now, inflation is a motherfucker, so I would definitely say plan. But if the universe is sending you signs and the stars are like slowly starting to align, go for it. Go for it. Now, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of backstory about myself. How old am I? So maybe like 12, 11, 12 years ago, in my early 20s, you know, I got up and I moved. I moved 14 hours away from my family. I moved to Dallas, Texas. My family and friends, everything that I knew and loved. Now, that's a very interesting conversation about how that came to be, too, that I'll go to maybe in another video, but that's not the point. I've done it. I've done it. And looking back, it was one of the best experiences, even though I was only there for like maybe a year and a half. I was there for a short time. One of the best experiences, though stressful. I look back so fondly of that point in my life and proud of that moment in my life. There's this thing about when you're in your hometown, there's kind of like this narrow mindedness, this kind of hollowness. You feel kind of like suffocated because all you know is what you know, and that's what you've been around, that's what you grew up in. And so, for some people that's okay. But for other people like me and a lot of people out there, we want more. We want more. We want to get out there and see other aspects of life. We want to really cultivate and create this life that we can look back and say, damn, I did the damn thing. It was stressful as fuck, but I had fun. And I say do it. And if you can help it, tell the least amount of people as possible. I wouldn't even announce it on social media because people will pray for your downfall. They'll pray for your failure. They'll pray for this collapse of, this tower moment over you. People you know and you don't even know. And then when you start to tell people, they try to instill fear in your heart. They try to instill doubt in your heart. Now, I get it. For some people, it's natural to be like nurturing. Are you sure? Is this what you want to do? But even if that is the case, watch those people because they're even going to have two reactions when if you have a tower moment and you're not, I wouldn't say not successful, but it isn't gold. It's not all grapes, pineapples, and Lucky Charms because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. You're going to run into some shit. Now, the people who are your people are going to be the people who are going to welcome you back with open arms. They're not going to ask you about your experience. They're not going to try and, make you feel small over the experience because maybe it didn't go how, you wanted it to go and how they thought it would have went. Watch those people. That kind of I told you so. I told you so because your army and your village, they're going to welcome you back with open arms. They're going to take you back and they ain't going to ask no questions because they don't care. They don't care. They just want to make sure you're safe. They want to make sure you're good. I say move and get the fuck up out of your hometown. I think everybody should. Me personally, but I know that's not everybody's journeys. That's not everybody's stories. Some people aren't meant to, but I think everybody should at least, if you don't move out of your hometown, move to a different city because then you really start to learn like because when in your hometown, typically you the big fish in the small pond, but you get out there and you're the small fish in the big pond, and you just see how much more of life there is, how much more there is to grasp outside of your norm. It's a powerful thing, and it is nothing I can't explain. But people who have done it, they know what I'm talking about. They learn the essence of themselves that they would have never grasped. That they would have never grasped by just staying in your hometown and you know growing, living, and dying there. Me and my best friend, we're from the same city. We grew up in the same city. Like, we didn't know each other growing up, but later in life, like in our 20s, we met each other, ironically, in a different city that we both had moved to. I live in Columbia, South Carolina right now. I met my best friend in Columbia, South Carolina, which is like an hour and a half from our hometown. So we have these similar experiences because we're both gay, we're both black, and we know what it's like to grow up and be those things in Charleston, South Carolina, where it people do side eye you for being different. I mean, they still do it in Columbia too. We just don't care. But we had that bond, and even to this day, we'll sometimes ask, "You ready to move back to Charleston?" Hell the fuck no. Hell the fuck no. Now don't get me wrong, I love Charleston because it's giving me this sense of culture that I go other places and they want to know about my culture. It's a sense of culture that's in Charleston that I'm so grateful to have. And if I had nothing else for me, I'm glad that I took that sense of culture, and I love my my dialect. I love my Kichi dialect. And I don't care what people say about how I sound when I talk, but that was a part of me from my childhood and growing up. And plus, you're supposed to take those, kind, progressive, educational parts of your life and go away and share that with other people. Share that with other people because you're going to learn from them. You're going to learn from them, and they're going to learn from you. And it's a beautiful thing to share and coexist with all these different people who, you know, you didn't go to elementary school with, you didn't work with. I'm just saying, if you ever had any doubt in your mind, I'm telling you, this is, I'm not a psychologist. I didn't go to school for this. I'm just telling you as a motherfucker who lived it, and I have no regrets. Plan, please plan. Please plan, because inflation is a bitch. So please plan. But get out there. Get out there and live your life. Regardless of what your mom says, regardless of what your friends say back home, regardless of what your church say back home. To be honest, I wouldn't even tell the church. Just get out there. Because you can do it. You can do it. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm saying you can create a life that's outside of your norm to where you're successful and you're having fun. I still have, friends and, really, really close friends that I now even call family. From my 1.5 year, the time that I was in Dallas, Texas, I still have people that I'm really close to that are so different from the people I grew up with. So different. So different. And I still love those people because they knew I was an outsider and they created a sense of home for me. And you can do that. Family is not always about who you grew up with and who you're biologically attached to. You can create some beautiful relationships and bonds out here. Pretty much what I'm saying is like, sometimes you're meant to be the first. You're meant to be the first one to do it. You're meant to be the prototype. You're meant to be the example. Because it shows people in your hometown and around like, hey, I can get out there and I can create this life. And this version of myself that exists outside of this. Now, if you got family, you got to be more strategic. Listen, I don't got kids. I didn't have kids at the time. I didn't have anything holding me back. I just got up and I left. So if you got family, you may got to be more strategic. But if it's on your heart, that's the call right there. So get out there and do your thing. And if you've been thinking about it, let me know in the comments. If you've done it and you've gotten up and you just say, hey, the fuck with it. I'm out of here. Let me know. Because I'm interested in knowing your stories. All right. All right, this is Like Isaiah. I will see y'all in the next video. I'm trying not to turn this into like my personality. I don't want YouTube to be my personality. I just want to get on here and talk. Maybe 3 times a week. I don't want to be going live. I see the stress that comes with that and like the expectation, and that's not something I'm wanting to do. I don't see it for me. Never say never, but I don't see it for me. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. I love all my supporters. I thank y'all for the engagement. Will you